The unexpected student. The crystalline spires of Galactic University gleamed in the pale light of Xyrex's twin moons. The campus sprawled across a vast plateau, its buildings a mesmerizing blend of organic curves and impossible geometries that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, casting a shimmering purple glow across the alien landscape, the university stirred to life. Sophia Chen stood at the base of the central teleportation hub, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and terror. The 19-year-old human clutched her meager belongings, a single bag containing all she had been allowed to bring from Earth. She took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the slightly sweet air of Xyrex, and stepped forward. A tall, willowy alien with iridescent skin and 4 arms greeted her. "Welcome to Galactic University, Sophia Chen of Earth. I am Professor Xylos, Dean of Interspecies Relations." The alien's voice was melodic, almost musical. "We are honored to have the first human exchange student join our esteemed institution." Sophia swallowed hard, forcing a smile. "Thank you, Professor. I'm honored to be here." Her voice sounded small and fragile in the vast, echoing chamber of the hub. As Professor Xylos led her through the winding corridors of the university, Sophia's mind reeled. The walls seemed to shift and pulse with living light, and students of 1,000 different species bustled past. Some floated, others slithered, and still others moved in ways that defied description. Sophia felt a wave of vertigo wash over her. "Your dormitory is in the xenobiology wing," Professor Xylos explained, oblivious to Sophia's discomfort. "We've paired you with a Trilixian student. We believe your species have compatible sleep cycles and atmospheric requirements." Before Sophia could respond, they arrived at a door that writhed open at their approach. Inside, a creature that looked like a cross between a giant caterpillar and a fern regarded her with multiple eye stalks. "Greetings, new roommate." The Trilixian's voice was a series of chirps and whistles, instantly translated by the neural implant Sophia had received during her preparation for the exchange. "I am Xylexa. Welcome to our shared living space." Sophia managed a weak smile. "Hi, Xylexa. I'm Sophia. Nice to meet you." Professor Xylos nodded approvingly. "I'll leave you to get acquainted. Your orientation begins in 2 cycles. Xylexa can show you how to use the temporal adjustment settings." With that, the dean glided away, leaving Sophia alone with her alien roommate. The next few hours were a blur of information as Xylexa enthusiastically explained the workings of their room. Sophia learned how to adjust the gravity, atmospheric composition, and even the passage of time within their living space. By the time orientation arrived, her head was spinning with new knowledge. The orientation itself was held in a vast amphitheater that seemed to exist partially in other dimensions. As Sophia took her seat, she noticed the curious and sometimes hostile glances from her alien classmates. She was, after all, the only human in a sea of extraterrestrial life. A holographic image of a being composed entirely of pulsating energy appeared at the center of the amphitheater. "Welcome, new students, to Galactic University. I am Archon Zev, your principal. Here, you will push the boundaries of known science and forge connections that will shape the future of our galaxy." As the Archon spoke, Sophia felt a surge of determination. She was here not just for herself, but as a representative of all humanity. She would not let her species down. The first day of classes dawned, and Sophia found herself in advanced quantum mechanics and its applications in faster-than-light travel. As she entered the classroom, a hush fell over the alien students. The professor, a being of pure light contained within a crystalline structure, regarded her with interest. Our human student," the professor's thoughts resonated directly in Sophia's mind. "I am curious to see how your species' understanding of quantum mechanics aligns with galactic standards. Please, introduce yourself to the class." Sophia stood, her knees shaking slightly. "Hello, I'm Sophia Chen from Earth. We've only recently achieved faster-than-light travel, so I'm here to learn from the best." A ripple of what might have been laughter passed through the class. One student, a gelatinous blob with multiple tentacles, spoke up. Earth? Isn't that the planet that still uses fossil fuels? How quaint. Sophia felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment, but she lifted her chin. We may not be as advanced as some species, but we're quick learners. That's why I'm here. The professor's light pulsed approvingly. Well said, Sophia. Now, let us begin with a review of 11-dimensional string theory and its implications for wormhole stabilization. As the lecture progressed, Sophia found herself struggling to keep up. The concepts were far beyond what she had learned on Earth, and the mathematical equations used symbols she had never seen before. But she refused to give up, furiously taking notes and asking questions whenever she could. By the end of the class, Sophia's brain felt like it was about to explode. As she gathered her things, the gelatinous student who had mocked her earlier approached. I must admit, human, you ask more intelligent questions than I expected, it burbled. Perhaps your species isn't as primitive as we thought. I am Blobthor, by the way. Sophia managed a small smile. Thanks, I think, and please call me Sophia. As she left the classroom, Sophia felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. She had survived her first class at Galactic University, but she knew the real challenges were just beginning. Over the next few weeks, Sophia threw herself into her studies with a determination that surprised even her. She spent countless hours in the library, a vast network of interconnected pocket dimensions containing the accumulated knowledge of thousands of civilizations. She joined study groups with aliens of all shapes and sizes, learning not just about advanced sciences, but also about the rich tapestry of galactic culture. Slowly but surely, Sophia began to make progress. Her unique human perspective often led her to ask questions that her alien classmates hadn't considered, and her tenacity in the face of seemingly impossible tasks earned her the respect of many professors. One day, as Sophia was working late in the xenobiology lab, she overheard two professors discussing her in low voices. The human is progressing faster than we anticipated, one said, its tentacles waving in agitation. If this continues, we may have to reevaluate our assessment of their species' potential. The other professor, a being of living crystal, chimed in response. Indeed, her presence here could have far-reaching consequences for the balance of power in the galaxy. We must watch her closely. Sophia's heart raced as she pretended not to have heard. She had come to Galactic University seeking knowledge, but it seemed her very presence was causing ripples in the cosmic order. As she made her way back to her dorm, her mind whirled with questions about her role in this vast, alien universe. Xylexa was waiting for her, its eye stalks swiveling with concern. Sophia, friend, you work too hard. Come, I have prepared a traditional Trilixian relaxation ceremony. It will help clear your mind. Grateful for the distraction, Sophia allowed herself to be led into a cocoon-like structure Xylexa had woven. As soothing aromas filled the air and soft bioluminescent lights pulsed around her, Sophia felt the tension of the past weeks begin to melt away. Thank you, Xylexa, she murmured. I'm lucky to have you as a roommate. Xylexa's eye stalks wiggled happily. And I am fortunate to have you, Sophia, friend. You have taught me much about human resilience and adaptability. Our species are not so different, I think. As Sophia drifted off into a peaceful sleep, she realized that despite the enormous challenges she faced, she was exactly where she needed to be. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Her journey at Galactic University was only just beginning. Hidden talents. As weeks turned into months, Sophia settled into a routine at Galactic University. The initial culture shock began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of wonder at the marvels she encountered daily. However, challenges still lurked around every corner, particularly when it came to the advanced alien technology that permeated every aspect of life on campus. One crisp morning, Sophia found herself in the quantum engineering lab, staring at a holographic interface that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Her assignment was to calibrate a miniature wormhole generator, a task that would have been considered pure science fiction back on Earth. Having trouble, human? A voice like grinding rocks startled Sophia. She turned to see Crix, a silicon-based life form from a heavy gravity world. His crystalline body glittered with amusement. Sophia sighed, running a hand through her hair. Is it that obvious? I can't seem to get the quantum fluctuations to stabilize. Crix's laughter sounded like avalanches in miniature. Of course you can't. Your species has barely mastered nuclear fission. Perhaps you should stick to simpler tasks. Anger flared in Sophia's chest, but she forced it down. Instead, she turned back to the holographic interface, determination etched on her face. I may not understand all of this yet, but I will. Just watch me. Hours passed as Sophia worked tirelessly, her fingers dancing through the multi-dimensional interface. She drew on everything she had learned so far, combining it with the problem-solving skills she had honed back on Earth. Slowly, a pattern began to emerge in the chaos of quantum fluctuations. Professor Zorix, Sophia called out suddenly, excitement coloring her voice. The professor, a being of pure energy contained in a force field, glided over. Yes, Sophia. Have you made progress? Sophia nodded eagerly. I think I found a way to stabilize the wormhole using principles from Earth's chaos theory. If we introduce a controlled feedback loop here, she manipulated the holographic display. It creates a self-regulating system that maintains quantum coherence. Professor Zorix's energy field pulsed with surprise and interest. Fascinating. This is an entirely novel approach. Please, demonstrate. As Sophia walked the professor through her solution, a crowd began to gather. Students of various species watched in amazement as the human girl tamed a wildly fluctuating wormhole, stabilizing it with an elegant simplicity that belied the complex mathematics behind it. Extraordinary, Professor Zorix hummed. You've combined galactic quantum theory with a uniquely human perspective to create something truly innovative. This could revolutionize our approach to wormhole technology. Crix, who had been watching from the back of the crowd, approached Sophia with a newfound respect in his crystalline eyes. I was wrong about you, human. Your species may be young, but you possess an adaptability and creativity that is admirable. Sophia smiled, feeling a warmth of pride and accomplishment wash over her. Thank you, Crix, and please call me Sophia. News of Sophia's breakthrough spread quickly through the university. Suddenly, the human exchange student was no longer a curiosity but a subject of intense interest. Professors sought her out for her unique insights, and students from across the galaxy vied for spots in her study groups. However, not everyone was pleased with Sophia's sudden rise to prominence. As she entered the grand dining hall for evening sustenance, she noticed a group of Vexillian students whispering and casting dark looks in her direction. The Vexillians, known for their rigid hierarchical society and disdain for lesser species, had made no secret of their displeasure at a human being admitted to Galactic University. Zerluxa, sensing Sophia's unease, wrapped a comforting front around her shoulders. Do not let them trouble you, Sophia friend. Their prejudice is born of fear of change, fear of the unknown. You represent both. Sophia nodded, grateful for her roommate's support. I know. It's just, sometimes I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. What if my being here causes more problems than it solves? Before Zerluxa could respond, an alarm blared through the dining hall. Red warning lights pulsed along the walls, and a holographic message appeared in the center of the room. Attention all estudiantes and faculty. A critical malfunction has occurred in the main reactor core. Please remain calm and follow evacuation procedures. Panic erupted as students of all species rushed towards the exits. Sophia and Zerluxa were swept along with the crowd, but as they neared the door, Sophia heard a familiar voice calling out in distress. Help, I'm stuck. It was Globthor, the gelatinous student from her quantum mechanics class. His amorphous body had become trapped in a narrow service duct, unable to fully compress or expand. Without hesitation, Sophia pushed against the flow of the crowd, making her way to Globe Thor. "Hold on, I'll get you out." Using her smaller human form to her advantage, Sophia squeezed into the duct alongside Globe Thor. She quickly assessed the situation, noticing how the duct's strange geometry was interfering with Globe Thor's ability to change shape. "Okay, Globe Thor, I need you to trust me," Sophia said, her mind racing. "I'm going to create a series of pressure differentials that should help you flow out of here. It might feel strange, but just go with it." Drawing on her knowledge of fluid dynamics and alien biology, Sophia began to manipulate the environmental controls in the duct. She created a complex series of pressure changes, effectively pumping Globe Thor out of his predicament. With a wet plop, the gelatinous student finally fell free. "Thank you, Sophia," Globe Thor burbled gratefully. "I owe you my life." As they rushed to catch up with the evacuation, Sophia's mind was already turning to the reactor crisis. She had been studying the university's power systems as part of her coursework, and she had a nagging feeling that she might be able to help. When they reached the safety zone outside, Sophia spotted Professor Zorix conferring urgently with other faculty members. She approached, her heart pounding. "Professor," she called out, "I think I might be able to help with the reactor." The energy being turned to her, surprise evident in the fluctuations of his force field. "Sophia, this is not the time for—" "Please, just hear me out," Sophia interrupted, her voice filled with determination. "The reactor uses a quantum singularity as its power source, right? What if the problem isn't with the reactor itself, but with the containment field?" Professor Zorix paused, considering her words. "Go on." Sophia took a deep breath and launched into an explanation, her words tumbling out in a rush of inspiration. She described how principles of chaos theory could be applied to quantum singularities, potentially creating a more stable and self-regulating containment field. As she spoke, more faculty members gathered around, listening intently. When she finished, there was a moment of stunned silence. Finally, Arkan Zev, the university's principal, spoke up. "This is unprecedented, but it just might work. Professor Zorix, assemble a team immediately. Sophia, you're with them." What followed was a blur of activity as Sophia found herself at the heart of a crisis response team. She worked alongside the brightest minds in the galaxy, her human perspective providing crucial insights that complemented their advanced knowledge. Hours passed in a haze of complex calculations and daring adjustments to the very fabric of space-time. Finally, with a low hum that resonated through the entire campus, the reactor stabilized. As cheers erupted from the gathered crowd, Sophia felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her. She had done it. She had not only proven her worth, but potentially saved the entire university. Archon Zev approached her, his energy form glowing with approval. "Sophia Chen of Earth, you have done a great service to Galactic University today. Your quick thinking and unique approach to problem-solving have shown us the true value of diversity in our academic community." Sophia blushed, overwhelmed by the praise. "Thank you, Arkan. I just wanted to help." As the crisis subsided and students began returning to their dormitories, Sophia found herself surrounded by a diverse group of alien classmates, all eager to congratulate her and learn more about her ideas. Xyloxa beamed with pride, its eye stalks waving happily. "You see, Sophia friend, you are exactly where you need to be. Your presence here is changing minds and opening hearts across the galaxy." As Sophia looked around her faces and other sensory organs of her new friends, she felt a sense of belonging she had never experienced before. She was no longer just a human on an alien world. She was a valued member of a galactic community. With a smile, she realized that her journey at Galactic University was far from over. In fact, it felt like it was only just beginning. The Galactic Science Fair. The excitement from the reactor incident gradually settled, but Sophia's reputation as a problem solver and innovator continued to grow. As the first semester drew to a close, buzz began to build around campus about the upcoming Galactic Science Fair. the most prestigious interspecies academic competition in the known universe. One morning, as Sophia was enjoying her breakfast, a curious concoction that tasted like a mix of blueberries and curry, Professor Xylos approached her table. "Sophia," the dean's melodic voice chimed, "I hope you're planning to enter the Galactic Science Fair. It would be a wonderful opportunity to showcase human potential." Sophia nearly choked on her food. "Me? But I'm just a first-year student. Surely there are more qualified candidates." Professor Xylos' iridescent skin shimmered with amusement. "My dear, after your performance with the reactor crisis, half the faculty is eager to see what you'll come up with next. Besides, the fair isn't just about advanced knowledge. It's about innovation and new perspectives. You have those in abundance." As the dean glided away, Sophia's mind raced with possibilities. She had been studying so many new concepts, but what could she contribute that would truly stand out in a galaxy of wonders? Over the next few weeks, Sophia threw herself into preparation for the fair. She spent countless hours in the lab, combining advanced alien technologies with principles from Earth sciences. Her project began to take shape. A revolutionary approach to terraforming that used modified extremophile bacteria from Earth to rapidly transform hostile environments. Xyloxa watched her roommate's feverish work with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Sophia, friend, you must remember to rest. Even the brightest stars need to recharge." Sophia smiled gratefully at her alien friend. "Thanks, Xyloxa. I just want to prove that humans have something valuable to offer the galactic community." As the day of the fair approached, excitement on campus reached a fever pitch. Students from across the galaxy arrived to showcase their projects, each more mind-bending than the last. Sophia couldn't help but feel a twinge of insecurity as she set up her display next to a quantulum student whose project involved manipulating the fundamental constants of the universe. The fair opened with great fanfare, with Archon Zev giving a speech about the importance of scientific collaboration across species. As the judges began making their rounds, Sophia took a deep breath and prepared to present her work. However, just as the first judge approached her booth, disaster struck. Sophia's carefully cultivated bacteria cultures began to react violently, threatening to break containment. Panic surged through her as she realized her project was literally falling apart before her eyes. "No, no, no," she muttered, frantically trying to stabilize the cultures. But it was no use. Something had gone terribly wrong. As Sophia stood there, devastated, she overheard a snide comment from a nearby Vexillian student. "Well, what did you expect from a primitive species? They're not ready for real science." Tears stung Sophia's eyes, but she blinked them back furiously. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about proving that humanity deserved a place among the stars. Taking a deep breath, Sophia turned to the bewildered judge. "I'm so sorry about this, but if you'll allow me, I'd like to explain what went wrong and how we can learn from it." To her surprise, the judge, a being that seemed to be made of living mathematics, nodded encouragingly. "Proceed, young human. True science is as much about failure as it is about success." Over the next hour, Sophia broke down her project piece by piece, explaining her methodology and hypothesizing about what could have caused the unexpected reaction. She drew on knowledge from a dozen different fields, combining alien concepts with human intuition in ways that made the judge's equations swirl with interest. As she concluded her impromptu lecture, Sophia realized a crowd had gathered around her booth. Students and faculty of various species were listening intently, some even taking notes. The judge's voice resonated with approval. "Most impressive, Sophia Chen of Earth. Your ability to adapt and derive new knowledge from unexpected results is truly remarkable. This is the essence of scientific inquiry." As the judge moved on, Sophia felt a mix of relief and lingering disappointment. She might not win any prizes, but at least she hadn't completely embarrassed herself or her species. However, her moment of calm was short-lived. As she began cleaning up her failed experiment, Sophia noticed something strange. The bacteria, which should have been dead from the violent reaction, were actually thriving in their new environment. "That's impossible," she whispered, leaning in for a closer look. And then it hit her. The accident had created the very conditions her bacteria needed to accelerate their terraforming properties exponentially. Excitement bubbled up inside her as she realized the implications. This wasn't a failure, it was a breakthrough. Sophia rushed to find the judges, nearly bowling over a startled blob Thor in her haste. She managed to catch them just as they were concluding their rounds. "Please," he gasped, out of breath, "you need to see this. My project. It works, but in a way I never anticipated." The judges, intrigued by her enthusiasm, followed her back to the booth. Sophia launched into an explanation of her accidental discovery, her words tumbling out in a rush of excitement. As understanding dawned on the judges' faces, or equivalent sensory organs, a ripple of excitement spread through the crowd. Students and faculty alike pressed closer, eager to witness the unexpected breakthrough. Arten Zev himself glided over, his energy form pulsing with curiosity. "Sophia Chen, it seems you have once again surprised us all. Please, explain your discovery to the entire assembly." Suddenly, Sophia found herself at the center of attention, holographic displays projecting her words and images to the entire fair. Drawing on reserves of courage she didn't know she possessed, she began to speak. She explained how the accident had led to a symbiotic relationship between her Earth bacteria and trace elements common in alien atmospheres. This symbiosis created a self-replicating, highly efficient terraforming system that could potentially transform hostile planets in a fraction of the time of conventional methods. But the real breakthrough, Sophia concluded, her eyes shining, is that this process doesn't just reshape planets. It creates unique, hybrid ecosystems that could support a wide variety of life forms. It's not about making new Earths or new Xyrexes. It's about creating worlds where all our species could thrive together. A hush fell over the assembly as the implications of her words sank in. Then gradually, a swell of excited conversation rose, with students and faculty from dozens of species all talking at once about the possibilities this discovery opened up. Arten Zev's voice cut through the din. "Sophia Chen of Earth, your project embodies the very spirit of this fair, innovation, adaptation, and the power of diverse perspectives coming together. It is my great pleasure to award you the Galactic Science Fair's highest honor, the Nova Prize for Transformative Discovery." As applause thundered through the hall, Sophia felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had come to Galactic University hoping to learn, to prove that humanity had potential. Instead, she had stumbled upon a discovery that could reshape the future of galactic exploration and colonization. Zoloxar wrapped a congratulatory front around Sophia's shoulders. "You have done more than prove humanity's worth, Sophia friend. You have shown us all the power of bringing different worlds together." As Sophia basked in the glow of her achievement, she couldn't help but wonder what other wonders might arise from the meeting of human and alien minds. The future, it seemed, was full of infinite possibilities.